If you're struggling with difficult emotions right now, this video is for you. So I had some pretty intense conflict with some close friends earlier this week, and I've been feeling grief, sadness, anger, and just processing a lot of things. And it's been kind of hard on my mind and body. I remember trying to fall asleep and just not being able to because my heart felt like physically in pain, like it was being crushed in some way. And my mind was just racing all the time. It couldn't stop thinking about the situation. And when I finally did fall asleep, I'd only stay asleep for a couple hours. And during that time, I'd be dreaming about the situation. And when I woke up, it would go back to just feeling that pain, both physically and emotionally. And yeah, it was keeping me up, and I wasn't resting well. And I also was feeling nauseous all the time, having trouble eating, and then I'd feel weak because I wasn't eating enough, so I'd have to like force feed myself to be able to like function. And so maybe that resonates with you in some way. Maybe you've felt something similar or are feeling something similar, and that's why you clicked on this video. And while I'm still processing a lot of these things, this thing happened pretty recently as of the recording of this video, I do feel generally good and better right now. So I kind of want to talk about what's helped me, and maybe that'll help you. So when we feel difficult emotions, it can be really easy to want to run away and numb, whether that's with video games, drugs or alcohol, maybe sex or porn, or something else to just distract us. We don't really want to feel those feelings. And yeah, it's understandable, right? It can be really hard to sit with just being in that feeling, and that's why we turn to these other things. And when we do that, it's kind of like saying that feeling's not welcome, which is really in turn saying a part of you is not welcome. It's kind of like not accepting a part of yourself, which I think is really sad, because if you think about this feeling, whether it's sadness, grief, or anger, or whatever it is that you might be feeling, it is a part of you, and I think that part of you wants to be accepted and seen, just like we do as humans. If you're familiar with internal family systems, parts work, therapy, or other personal growth related concepts, this idea might be pretty familiar to you. And it's not just a theory. A lot of these modalities talk about how it's important that we recognize and feel our emotions and accept them, as opposed to trying to run away or numb or hide from them. And this idea of accepting and embracing our feelings makes a lot of sense. I think that it is totally the right thing to do, but it's like way easier said than done, right? So earlier this week, I was trying to do that. I would just sit there and literally just sit there and feel the emotions that were coming up. Just feel all of the grief, all of the sadness, all of the anger. And I wish I could tell you that I had some sort of like ability to actually sit there and just process everything and then be magically healed, because that's not at all what happened. I was like, screw this. I can't take this anymore. I'm going to go and play video games, or I'm going to go outside and play some frisbee, something to distract myself from this, because I just can't do it. I just can't sit in it. And while this might seem like I failed in some way, I think it's actually the exact right thing for me to have done, especially looking back now in retrospect. I believe that there is a balance into how we approach healing and processing our emotions. So on one hand, if all we do is numb and run away, that's probably not going to help. But on the other hand, if we try to force ourselves to just sit in the feeling all the time, that can be really overwhelming and a lot to handle. I like to think of it similar to, say, working out. So if you're trying to work out and improve your physical health, it's not healthy to just sit on the couch and be resting all the time and never moving. And at the same time, if you're in a gym for like 20 hours a day and you never rested, that's also not really healthy. We want a balance of the two, where we're training and working out, but we're also giving ourselves that time to rest and recover. And so I think with processing emotions, it's a similar thing. We want to take some time to really sit with and just be with the emotions, see if we can accept them as they are, and then also take some time to distract ourselves with some sort of fun activity that we enjoy, something that lets us stop thinking about all those things that are coming up, and yeah, just give our minds a little bit of a break. And of course, as you're working through balancing these two things, leaning on other people for support can also be a really great thing. So close friends, therapists, or family, or other people in your support network can really help with whatever you're going through. So I hope this idea helps, this idea of balancing, yes, take the time to sit with your emotions and to really process and feel them, and then take some time to do something that's distracting, something that you like for fun, and just don't worry about the problem for a bit. And what works for you will probably be different from what works for me or someone else, and so you can kind of play with it too and find what is the most healthy and ideal balance for you. So if this idea helps, please like and subscribe. That way you'll get more information and more content that can continue to help you. And if you're going through a tough time, feel free to drop a comment below. If you want to share what you're going through, I'm here to listen and here to read your comments. And whatever it is that you might be struggling with, I know that it can be really hard, it can be really tough. So I'm sending you a lot of love and a big virtual hug as well. So that's all for this video, and take care. I hope to see you soon.